I built this attractive raised garden bed basically for free. The lumber, well, it came from a tree that was damaged by a storm that I milled into boards using a sawmill on my property. The screws were even recycled. They came from an old fencing project I took apart. Hi, I'm Scott. Welcome to Farmerizestuff. Where I live here in Independence County, Arkansas, our local community college and county extension service are hosting a raised bed gardening class. I volunteered to build a raised bed that they can give away as a door prize. I'd prefer to make it from cedar, but I can't cut any cedar till I can get my tractor into the repair shop. Instead, I'm going to use some boards I'd cut some time ago. My supply of lumber on hand is running really low. However, I did find these two 9.5 inch by 12-foot oak boards in a shed. I think they'll work perfect for today's project. Eastern red cedar, due to its rot resistance, would be a much better choice for this project. Unfortunately, this is all I have left, not enough to make a raised bed. Before I start cutting these boards, because this is all I have, I should probably draw a sketch of what the flower bed will look like. This will give me enough to work with. I'm going to use my tape measure to lay out the screw holes for this raised bed. I want things to look nice. It just takes a moment, but it shows that I care about what I'm building. Even though I cut these pieces from the same board, I noticed the width varied along its length. So I'm going to just take a moment and rip these all down to about 9.25 inches wide. So I don't split the wood, I'm going to drill some pilot holes. I'm going to use used screws. I recycled these from some fencing I took down here on the property. These boards aren't perfect, they're a little warped. In this case, the sideboard's warp causes it to not line up flush with the end. I've got 2 screws in this already. I'm going to use a clamp to apply pressure against this and twist it out before I drive home this final screw. I don't think this clamp was designed to work this way, but I reversed the foot on it to use it to catch the far end and push. And then I'm kind of holding this in place and just using the clamp to apply outward pressure on these boards. It's not real stable, but it works. Perfect. Well, we have a functional flower bed, essentially a box without a top or bottom, but it's kind of ugly. Since I have 1 board left over, I'm going to cut it up and make a nice lip to go on top of this, just so it doesn't look so austere. To make that 12-foot long board less wieldy, I cut it in half. Now I'm going to rip the remaining pieces into probably 4-inch wide strips. I think I'm going to preserve this rough sawn edge because it looks cool, and I'll have that be the outward facing edge of the rim for the flower box. My table saw has a tape measure built into the fencing system. This is a 30-year-old Biesemeyer fence, and it works fantastic, very accurate. I don't need to bring my tape out for a measurement operation. For the top lip, I'm going to cut the edges at 45 degrees so the corners will be mitered together. It'll look sharp. To determine the length of these top rails, I'm going to just line this up where I think it belongs, and I'll mark the end with a pencil. I don't want to use a tape measure because this is going to be more accurate. I've cut the length of this top piece perfectly. However, it doesn't quite fit right because the board beneath it that forms the body is bowed. I'm going to remove that bow in the board by starting with a screw or 2 screws on this end, working my way to the middle with another screw, and then finally 2 more screws on this end. That should hold it in place. I'll probably use a total of 6 screws to hold each top board on. It's overkill, yes, but I'm using recycled screws from another project, so it's not costing me anything, and it will last a long time. I'm spacing these roughly 2 inches and 5 inches from the end. Then I'll just split the middle. I'm definitely not strong enough. Now this side is perfectly straight. For all intents and purposes, this raised bed is done and it looks good. But I think we can make it look even better by cutting some brackets that are purely decorative that go beneath these edges. For that, we can use the end cuts that were left over and then just cut them to length and then use the bandsaw to cut a scroll shape on them. Then we'll just trace this curve with a paint can. This is going to be a little wide, so we'll probably take it down to 3 inches. I'm going to start by ripping this block to 3 inches wide on the table saw. Then I'll cut this gentle curve using the bandsaw. This bracket shape will look great on the planter box. I'm going to use this one as a template and cut out 9 more. Since these brackets are just a decorative element, I'm going to use a little Titebond 2 exterior wood glue and some 15 gauge finish nails to hold these in place. I think that'll hold them just fine. This project was a blast to build, and it didn't cost me a penny. The lumber, it came from a storm-damaged tree that I milled into boards. The screws, they were salvaged from a fencing project. I guess in all fairness, I did spend a little because I had to use 30 brand new finish nails and a nail gun to install it, but that's it. All it took to make this project was a simple sketch that served as rough plans, and a little bit of patience and ingenuity to make the most of the materials that I had on hand. That's the way you farmerize things. If you like making stuff, fixing stuff, and growing stuff, you should subscribe to Farmerize Stuff. This channel features low-cost and no-cost projects, common-sense build, and just a little bit of old man wisdom to help you complete your next project well and inexpensively.